The Magnaflow Street Series axle back here is a premium system that will deliver one of the deepest tones in the category for your 2.7 liter powered 21 and newer Bronco. Now the Magnaflow will combine a full stainless steel build with a stealthy black powder coat and twin 4-inch tips, all for right around that $1,000 price point. Install is going to be a 100% bolt-on job here, guys, so figure a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, at least according to the site, and a couple of hours at absolute most from start to finish. But as always, hang with me for a bit and we'll walk you through that job at the end of the video. But let's get into the sound you guys can expect with the Magnaflow bolted up. And listen, you heard the sound clips at the top of the video, and to my ears, the Magnaflow again is going to deliver one of the deepest tones I've personally heard with the 2.7 EcoBoost trucks, which to me is a good thing. Now, as far as volume is concerned, well, it's noticeably louder than stock, there's no denying that, but certainly not one of the loudest in the category. So breaking out my scientific wake the neighbor scale, I have the Magnaflow Street system coming in at a robust 3 out of 5. On my 1 to 5 or 1 to wake the neighbor scale. Now, certainly is a little interior boominess present, but I think that's the byproduct of having such a deep tone with the Magnaflow, and ultimately, between the soft top noise or all-terrain or mud-terrain tire noise, it is minimal at best. But sound aside, I do want to reaffirm that Magnaflow has designed this system specifically for the 2.7 liter V6 EcoBoost with the 6th gen Bronco. Now, other systems out there might include hangers that will feature both fitments, 2.3 and 2.7. However, Magnaflow has kept them separate, so if you do have a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost Bronco, you will need a different system. So just make sure to confirm the correct fitment before pulling the trigger. But switching gears, let's talk build and construction. And honestly, guys, Magnaflow is one of the best in the biz when it comes to producing a high quality system from start to finish. And as a result, they do back this thing with a limited lifetime warranty. Now, they start off with a full stainless steel build, 409 grade to be exact. And from there, they utilize a small amount of 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing into and out of the signature Magnaflow Street Series muffler. Now, sure, it might look and maybe even sound like a chamber design, but it's not. It's a straight through design for the best flow, of course, but with a perforated tube and packing design that will kind of help shape that nice deep tone, and best of all, again, has been made right here in the USA. But general construction aside, two of the big highlights with this system in particular for me will be the twin 4-inch tips here for one, and that stealthy black powder coat to finish things off. Now, typically I'm more of a fan of the high clearance exhaust tips where the tip itself is hidden up and out of the way for the best departure angle, but I will say the way that Magnaflow has executed this particular design, it looks really sharp, right? Those tips are still nice and high, they're tucked up there for clearance, but you can still see them for a sportier look. They've balanced the two very well. Now finally, that black powder coat does help the system kind of disappear underneath the rear of the truck while still providing some extra protection to that 409 grade stainless steel in regards to corrosion. Now, I should point out, guys, while the rest of the system does benefit from that lifetime warranty, the powder coat itself, that black finish, gets a separate 1-year warranty, so just keep that in mind. Now, as mentioned up top, guys, expect this system to be a very simple, straightforward bolt-on swap when we're talking about the install. But regardless, to give you a better idea of how exactly things will go down on your rig at home, check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown now.
Tools used for this installation: 3/8 electric impact gun, pair of pry bars, 15mm socket, and exhaust rubber grommet removal tool. First thing we're going to do, now that we have our truck up on the lift, is we're going to spray our rubber exhaust grommets here that hold our muffler up. If you do have to put your truck up, jack it up, make sure you use jack stands. In this case, with this vehicle being the height, you might even be able to lay on the ground and do it. So I'm going to spray some PB Blaster on our 2 grommets. Now, I'm going to get my 15mm and loosen the axle clamp up that holds the muffler on. Now I'm going to take my 15mm on my impact gun, loosen our clamp here. I'm not going to remove the nut. All you got to do is loosen it. The clamp is welded to the pipe there. Next, we're going to start removing our rubber hangers that hold the exhaust up. Now I'm going to use our exhaust grommet removal tool. If you don't have this, you can use a pry bar, wedge it in there, you'll be able to pop it off. I'm gonna get this behind there. Pop this grommet off. Now we'll remove the other one and then we'll start removing our muffler. Now we're gonna remove this one here. I'm gonna start removing it and hold the muffler. Pull my tool out of the way. Now that we have that, we're gonna be able to give the muffler wiggle and pull up and down, side to side. And our exhaust is removed. Now that we have our stock exhaust off, I'm gonna install our one-piece axle back exhaust. I'll stick it into our axle pipe and get it in. And we're gonna install our grommets. These might be a little tough. You have to give them a really good push and pull. So now we're going to stick our hanger, our rubber grommet onto our hanger on this exhaust. I was having some issues with the other one because the nubs on the end of these from Magnaflow are pretty big compared to the stock ones on our Bronco. I'm going to have to use some pry bars. To pry this, I used a big channel lock for the other one. To get this on, I used plenty of grease on it too. So now that I have it on, now we'll finish tightening our exhaust and doing our clamp. Now that we have our grommets on both sides, the exhaust looks pretty straight as far as the back goes. I'm gonna tighten up our 15 millimeter here. And that wraps up our install. That wraps up this review and install of our Magnaflow Street Series axle back exhaust system with black tips for 21 to 22 2.7 EcoBoost Broncos. Thanks for watching, and for all things Bronco, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.